No, yeah. Or the other thing too is you could text it, get more message in the middle of number one. I'm saying, yeah, maybe your box
Over the past year, we traveled the country visiting American farms, and something great came of it. All because Reagan and Massey gave farmers a platform to share the history, the business, and the people that together have created their farm's identity. This project has uncovered the reality of what many farms in the country have to go through, and it's been long overdue. With our country losing an average of 28,000 farms a year, what better of a time to tell the stories than now? So we'd like to thank you for joining us on our travels and inviting these farmers into your living room, just as they have done for us.
Super pumped to be working with Farms of America this latter half of Iowa football season. We are joined by Tyler Kluver, Washed Up Walk-Ons. I'm Cory Brada, your host from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We are live from Big Grove Brewery in Des Moines. Tyler, we made it.
We did.
We hope our sound is working on the other end.
And I'm going to take over for Cory here. If anybody in the beautiful patronage of Big Grove is experiencing tech difficulties, everybody on our show knows I'm the tech guy.
Yeah, so it's my fault.
And I know nothing about the tech. It's taken 7 years to get to a spot where we can hook up the 75 cords it takes for this. And we are extremely thankful to be here at Big Grove. But
absolutely,
if anybody at home wants to comment on the audio, or anybody in the audience, please let us know, because we are just we're doing this on the fly. Hopefully it sounds good. I think we sound good right now.
So I can hear us just fine.
Let's do this thing.
It sounds pretty good, I think. So we're here talking everything Iowa for the next hour to hour and a half. We're going to have conversation about Iowa women's basketball with the news of McKenna Velichko committing to Iowa this week. We're going to have Kasheen Alexander with us, former All Big Ten guard. She will be discussing her take on McKenna's commitment, what it means for the future of Iowa women's basketball and recruiting. Of course, we'll also take your calls. We're going to do our best to link in callers this evening.
We might take your calls.
Yeah, we're going to try.
We'll see.
We're going to try. So the way to do that, folks, as always, if you're new to the channel, StreamYard. So it's a very simple procedure. Just go to StreamYard, the link in our description, and you can join us live here on the air and ask an Iowa football, Iowa men's basketball, Iowa women's basketball question. And I did just get an email the other day. We got wrestling around the corner as well. There's a lot of passionate wrestling fans out there, so yeah. I don't know that you and I are ready to attack wrestling.
Well, I was going to say, you're going to bring in women's basketball, men's basketball, wrestling. I can speak as I'm a super wealth of just information on all these programs.
Yeah.
I'm the back end guy, so it'll be a very informative conversation for everybody.
And Big Grove Brewery has supplied us with. I got the Citrus Surfer. You are supplied with the Easy Eddie.
I am, and our fans are going to be like, "What is he doing with the alcoholic beverage?"
Is Eddie being easy on you this evening?
It's been easy so far.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm surfing with this Citrus Surfer, and so that's good. So maybe a beer in, we'll have the courage to talk a little gridiron wrestling. But again, we're here talking everything Iowa. And I guess the first thing before we get to Kasheen and get to anybody that wants to call in, again, the phone or the StreamYard link is in our description. I guess the first thing is here we're in the middle of a bye week. That's why this was convenient to do, and we appreciate Big Grove making the space available to us. But you and I have not really spoke since the loss to Indiana. In fact, you and I haven't really talked a lot since the loss to Iowa State either. This team is 3-2 heading into the first bye week, and I think it's a good time for a bye. There's some people that Iowa wants to get back, one being their quarterback, Mark Ranowski, who went down second half against Indiana.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's to say the least. It sounds like there's a chance to get Reese Vanderzee back. But let's just break down this past weekend first. I know people have watched your channel or mine. They know our takes individually, but let's kind of pair up here for a second. I talked 3.5 hours after the game about special teams, and you are a special teams guy. So this comes at this broadcast comes at a very opportune time. I guess the $1 million question for you, I have, Tyler, is how much do you blame special teams, and what has been the focus during this bye week, in your opinion, of LeVar Woods specifically?
Blame is an interesting word you throw there. A lot of people looking for people to blame right now. It's an easy thing to do. It's the easy thing to do, and the reason it's the wrong thing to do is because blame sort of, I mean, you could make it widespread, but it sort of lends itself to a single issue. It's easy to pick one thing. I'll try and give my most unbiased special teams take. Again, on our show this week, I said I wish I wasn't in this position, being the one media guy out in the Iowa ecosystem. He's the special teamer. He's the long snapper. Let's ask him about all the issues that are happening, the blocked punts, the missed field goals. I don't want to be that guy. I wish we were talking about all the good stuff, and usually we are.
Yep.
Blame, is it the single? Is it a huge reason why we've lost these games? I'd like to think it's not the X factor. Could it have been the X factor of why we won these games? Maybe. We make that field goal the other day. We extend that drive and kick a field goal, and we probably win the game. So, yeah, it's easy to point to something like that. And we're like, man, the special teams could have got it done. And I know those guys on the inside, I feel like the little adrenaline right now, just thinking of putting myself in their position of like, man, are we 4-1 if we just make a kick? Are we – it's really hard to put yourself there, and you can't do that as a player. You have to move on.
Well, special team, I mean, I'm not, again, blame game is the wrong thing to do,
Sure.
But I'm going to do it because you're sitting next
because
to me.
we can, and we don't have any repercussions.
That's right. You could argue special teams let them down against Iowa State. I mean, they had a shank punt early from Reese Dakin. Caden Weegan had maybe the worst game in his career as a Hawkeye.
Certainly was.
So, I mean, I'm not saying LeVar Woods feels responsible or that he should feel responsible, but that unit has underperformed this year. As a whole, I think
it's weird.
Less than our expectations.
Yeah, it's weird because he kind of stepped to the mic this past week because we got the coordinators in the press conference, and he said, I know everybody, he kind of addressed how everybody sees what we like. Everyone's seeing the same stuff. There's some really great stuff happening on special teams. Caden Weegan has provided some absolute electric factory fireworks through 5 games. There's also been some bad stuff, some letdown there. And the kicking game has been tough. At times, the other day, Reese Dakin had a great punt. Right? He was good for the most part. Drew Stevens was 2 of 3, hit one from past 50. It's hard to say, like, man, this guy's letting us down.
Yeah.
It's not 100% shirt up, always winning us ball games like it has been in the past. And so a little bit of it is the predisposition of Hawkeye fans that we are in the special games specifically. I mean, Tory Taylor was an alien. We've had kickers that are just unbelievable. We are just a little bit spoiled with the unbelievable, like we're talking top 5, top 10 in the country for the last, probably since I left. Something maybe with that. As I left, everybody got better. Not in a good way. Like I left and everyone's cool to do good now.
But by the way, you never had the issues they're having right. I'm not placing this on Bryant Worrell or on Ike Speltz, but did you guys ever have these types of issues where we're talking about the entire unit being able to, it's the snap, it's the hold, it's the spin, it's the turn. We never had those conversations because it seemed so seamless when you were there and when Luke Elkin was there.
It's hard to say. I was not an observer or consumer of like what we do now 11 years ago in 2014 when I started. 2014 was a bad year. For anybody who remembers that, like we had Mick Ellis on scholarship out of Texas, and he was not good. Marshall Kane was trying to earn a scholarship.
I don't remember Mick Ellis kicking.
He kicked.
I legitimately, with all due respect, Mick, if you're watching, we love you because you're a Hawkeye, but I don't remember Mick Ellis kicking.
Well, and there's a reason for that. Forgettable, right? Like Marshall Kane was not the Marshall Kane of 2015 yet in 2014. So there was a time where myself and Marshall and Connor Cornbrath. There's a name.
I remember
Yeah.
Cornbrath.
So the punting, the kicking game, it was, I have to imagine that the guys that were doing this in 2014 were having these conversations. I don't remember them, fortunately, because my name probably was thrown out there. The snap thing specifically now, people like us are making a big deal out of the laces. It helps to have those laces around, but that ball was down and in a spot where Drew Stevens can kick and make that field goal 9 times out of 10 if you just line him up and let him do it. A little bit of his psychology, he sees the laces, even though it might not actually affect the kick, it's affected his head, which affects the kick.
So the laces were left. And just to give people an idea on this from the specialist point of view, if laces are left as opposed to out, is that automatically mean a guy's kick is going to draw? A right-footed kicker's kick is going to draw?
No. There is like some very, very small nuance to that. It might just ever so slightly be, but the kicker can control that ball better than people think they can. What you really just don't want is you don't want any part of your foot on the laces, because when your foot makes contact, if they had like one of those slow-mo YouTube channels break down like a kick, the compression before the ball even leaves the ground, there's no tee. That's what you're looking for to get the pop and the spring off the foot. The laces, if you're kicking those, they do not compress. That side of the ball does not compress at the same. I can't believe we're in the deep special teams nerdiness of this right now.
That's what we're going to do.
It doesn't compress the same. Okay. So as long as any part of his foot, really the meat of his foot, made contact with the one of the thirds of the ball, the seams that were not the laces, and they got it to like 9, 10 o'clock on that. The reason that was off, or the reason that affects him, is because he sees it and he's just not sure if it's going to get around.
So you're telling me from a science perspective, right?
From the physics of actually kicking the ball,
the laces left, to the side should not affect the flight of the ball.
Not to the extent of which that ball flew. No,
because that ball, it was as soon as it came off his foot.
Yeah,
you knew.
Yeah, it never really even had a chance.
No.
More of that is what happens is, for a right-footed kicker, he's going to delay in his head because he sees laces. So now he's mentally giving the holder just 1/10 of a second more to get it around. The way he does that, because he's already started his motion, is he has to hang in on his plant foot a little bit more. It drags his body to the plant side. The plant is the left foot, the left side.
And he's going to spray it left.
And that just ever so slightly affects his swing.
I feel like we're having a golf conversation.
It's very similar.
Right? I mean and Drew is an excellent golfer.
I wish he was. I wish he was straight down the fairway on this one, but he wasn't. So that's sort of the scientifics behind it. But the entire operation, to sum up this conversation, is sort of to blame. Every single person is probably doing about 95% of their job, and usually that's okay if your other guys are doing 100%. A lot of this is the same thing happening on punt. We've had 2 punt blocks this year, and that hurts me to my soul. That is 11 men are doing their job 100% to their ability. We just haven't had 11 doing 100%. So, the football's a game of inches.
Yep.
It literally is a game of inches. The blocked punt earlier in the year, we're talking if I think Montgomery was the guy whose guy got past him and blocked that kick. If he puts his guy off, sort of similar as like getting hands on a receiver in the flat early off the line of scrimmage, you have to take him off his spot. Same thing in the punt game. You have to take those rushers off their spot. He was a couple inches off, and it leads to a punt that was blocked easily, versus on a normal rep, they take care of that guy. He gets washed down into the PP, and it's not a big deal. So it's very, very small things that all add up.
So and I don't want to beat a dead horse, because the horse that was this past weekend is dead. But just to clarify, what you saw on that, because it's a pretty good view on Peacock. You can slow it down and see the snap. You can see the hold, and you see Ty Nissen, who is the holder, backup punter and the holder, him spinning the ball to about 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Right. Those laces are sticking out basically straight left. So what does the snapper need to do to make it easier for Ty Nissen to get those laces to 12 o'clock?
Yeah, well, theoretically, if you're snapping the same ball at the same distance every time, and you're holding, normally you'd like to hold the laces when you snap it, those laces will end up, if the holder's catching it in the same place, distance-wise, like depth-wise, that the laces will be in the same spot every time if you're giving him the same.
So it's more of a
rep.
consistent ball that you're looking for.
Right. And I'm not even going to sit here from a high horse and try and say that it's easy because my ball was not consistent. People are like, we never had this problem with you. Well, we did occasionally.
You just had a really good holder?
I had a great holder and great kickers. So I said that on Twitter this week. I was like, this could have been me if my guys didn't make me look good. So,
okay. And I'm assuming that Luke Elkin, given the fact that
Elkin was great.
He probably didn't have as many of those issues.
Elkin was much better than me laces wise at the short snaps.
Yeah.
Location wise, that was fine. Elkin's fine.
It seems like Bryant Worrell's fine.
And he's pretty fine. He was perfect on this missed kick.
Yeah.
It was simply a lace issue. Yeah. So to fix that, if you find that your average snap, your consistent ball is always a 6 facing the kicker, always a 9, then the way to immediately affect that, there's several ways, but the easiest one is just spin the ball in your hand before you start it so that it ends up a quarter turn or a half turn different.
But if it's not spinning at the same rate
every single time,
then
it's really
the
hard.
punter has no way of knowing where those laces are going to be and how much he has to turn it, and it's such a split second thing. Okay. I've learned something today. So.
Well, I hope some people did. Sorry everybody at home. I did not.
This is good.
I didn't tell Cory, hey, we're making this a special.
The first thing Tyler asked me when we showed up is, what's the outline?
I came.
Have you ever met me before, Tyler?
I came to provide the walk-on perspective, which is we don't prepare for anything, and I could get us kicked out of here. And David's the nice professional. He's got a collar.
Just call me
Cory.
David.
Cory, sorry. I'm thinking of somebody else from Marshalltown.
That's okay. It's all right.
The collar
Everybody
shirt,
from Marshalltown looks the same.
This is a Marshalltown reunion tonight, but
the difference?
But I'm here to provide the untidiness, and you're here to be professional.
Is anybody else here from Marshalltown?
No.
Nobody came here from Marshalltown. What's she saying over there?
I'm drinking.
She's saying Gladbrook. We got Gladbrook people.
Close enough.
That's great.
We love that.
Gladbrook Rhinebeck. That's great.
Oh my gosh.
Corn Carnival. I love it.
Dan Pomeroy's in the house.
Right? Corn Carnival.
Hawkeye legend.
Say that again. And they came all the way from Gladbrook. Well, we appreciate you.
That is crazy. They deserve something more than what we're giving them.
Oh my goodness. Nothing exciting. There must not be anything exciting happening over at Gladbrook Lake tonight. Okay, Collins Maxwell. Well, about halfway in between. So, well, we appreciate everybody. This is a beautiful place for an evening drink. They got great food here.
That's what we were talking about before we hit the record button.
Yeah, we're gonna have to endure the sun a little bit.
Yeah,
longer.
we're getting hit a little bit, but it's good because it washes me out a little bit, and I'm not very good looking anyway. So.
Yeah, it makes us look like we've actually got a tan. So, again, folks, we are here talking everything Hawkeye. So if you have questions, I know I haven't been looking at the chat. We're happy to take questions in the chat. We got a super chat here from Joe. Thank you, Joe. He says just a little love for the top 2 Hawkeye channels in the state. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Joe.
Let's go.
Very much appreciate that.
Subscribe to From the Hawkeye.
Yeah, subscribe to Washed Up Walk-Ons.
It should be rolling on both YouTube channels. We figured that out too.
Yeah,
we're so smart.
I've determined. You made some comment last time we were on the air together. Something about From the Hawkeye of the Storm being like the king of YouTube. Well,
you are.
Well, then you are the king of podcasts because I've went over to like Spotify and Apple, and you have like a ridiculous number of reviews.
Yeah,
I have to beg people to review my podcast. I'm like, are these guys getting exponentially more listens on podcasts? I mean, I'm bringing all these YouTube numbers, but you're getting all these ridiculous reviews. Did you just is it all the Hawkeye moms? Did you get all the Hawkeye moms to go on Spotify and review it, or?
Well, we had Drake for a while, who would have been great if we had Drake here tonight. That would have been fantastic. I don't know, man. I've recognized that as well.
Yeah.
Early on, when you start a show, it's always like, hey, man, the best thing for growth is get people to review. You always hear it. Like me and Cory here will like, hey, subscribe. Like all those things really matter in this weird like internet algorithm world. So early on, we were like, we made it a little segment where we'd read the reviews on the show, and we said, hey,
all right,
bad or good, we'll read it and just make it into a funny thing. And so, on Apple, we have like almost 1,100 reviews or something like that.
That's disgusting.
And that helps out a lot. That puts
disgusting.
Puts us at the top. Our shows are a little bit different in that like you are definitely more YouTube centric.
Yeah.
And we kind of probably my fault. I didn't really buy into this avenue. We were all like audio feed for the most part, and I would just upload the file to YouTube, but we never touted it. We just started live streaming. Thank you to everybody who's here in the live stream. hit the subscribe button, like I said. And we've been doing the live streaming this year, and that's been huge for us because that's just ad numbers. And that's the 3 minutes of me and Cory, just touting our channel. So exactly what you guys at home wanted to hear, and everybody here, at least the people here, have some delicious beverages that they can counter that with. So I appreciate it. It's fun. We're growing the game.
Yeah, I got a ways to go to get to that mark. So maybe I gotta do the whole review thing.
Do it.
We got a super chat here on this is on. See, it specifies, and I actually know that this is a super chat to you.
Wow.
From Hawkeye. So he says, well, I'll let you read this.
Yeah, it says Kluver. It's Ace, your New Yorker Hawkeye, from the Discord. This guy's very active in our Discord channel, our Discord community. Love you guys, man. Keep doing what you're doing, dude. Appreciate the $5. Appreciate you joining. Hope the show's going well. And all the way out in New York. This guy sends pics from like downtown New York City skyline stuff all the time in our chat. Hawkeyes everywhere.
Represent.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Coast to coast.
Yeah. We got a couple of people to listen from New York, and I almost feel like that you feel more connected when you hear from Hawkeye fans in other states, other countries, and they really are everywhere. So it's a special thing.
Yeah, I think what's crazy to us is on our side we can kind of see the demographics of this show, and our like second or third biggest country is like Indonesia or India or somewhere over there. Like it's a military base.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Stationed. And
I just laughed because it sounded random, but I understand the connection. Yeah,
that's why it's crazy. It's like we have people stationed overseas, or they've gone abroad and like found a way to live over there and be a Hawkeye fan and stay connected. And they tell us that we're what's connecting them back to.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you've gotten some of the same stuff. It's wild
that's pretty cool.
A couple kids from Marshalltown are the ones connecting them back to the Iowa Hawkeyes. So
I have people that tell, and I'm sure the same with you. I have people say, "Well, I get my news from you," and I'm like.
Heavy weight on your shoulders there.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure that I'm up to par on my reporting skills. So absolutely. Thank you, Hawkeye, representing all the way from New York. And again, Joe, thank you for the super chat as well. And I believe we have our special guest here in just a second. As I told everybody at the outset, we have entered into a great partnership, not just with Big Grove Brewery, but also with this awesome docuseries called Farms of America. And if you've not heard about it, you can watch it. It's absolutely free. Go over to YouTube and go to the Reagan and Massey YouTube channel. You're going to be hearing more about this docuseries. But episode 1 was with Matt Kroll and his family. Great farming story. He's got the NFL, the Iowa connection, and you can watch the episode. It's about 30 minutes long, and they're all the way through with season 1. It's absolutely amazing because it's not just Iowa farms. We're talking farming across the country. Oyster farming and berries and just crawfish. It's awesome. So check it out. Totally free to watch. You can watch it on RFD TV, also the Cowboy Channel, and you can check it out on their app as well.
The Cowboy Channel.
Yeah, Cowboy Channel. Rodeos. They're big on rodeos.
Luke Madsen, Marshalltown guy.
Is he a rodeo guy now?
Yeah,
Is he really? Is a PBR guy?
He was always he didn't bull ride. He ropes. He
ropes
calves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
His brother wrestled steers.
Okay. Wow.
Can
I just say, we don't have to go into specifics. There are some interesting things that Marshalltown people are doing now.
Brother, I think there's been some interesting things that Marshalltown people have been doing for a while.
I don't take that the wrong way, but use your imagination
You
can probably imagine. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's welcome in none other than.
Let's hope this works.
Charlotte's own. I'll just pause. Charlotte's own Kashin Alexander, former All Big Ten guard. Let's scooch together here, Tyler. Get comfortable.
Get tight.
Yep. We're going to get close. Kashin, I can't hear you, but maybe it's because. Why can't I hear you, Kashin?
Now we have to figure this out. Is she muted?
No, your audio is not working, Kashin, or I'm not seeing the little green bars. So you'll have to test your audio. And come back. Because I promise it's not on our end.
Or drive to Des Moines and join us at Big Grove.
Yeah, you get a quick flight from Charlotte to Des Moines. She can hear us, so all right. She's gonna. Oh,
sounds like we got her now.
We had you a second. We had you for a second there, Kashin. We had you for a second.
Now, if we don't have Kashin and I have to step in as the resident
women's basketball authority,
expert, I can tell you a lot about McKenna Velichko. I can say her name correctly now, and.
What were your thoughts? While we wait for Kashin to figure out our tech issues, I mean, it's hard to really put into words when you get somebody, top 10 in the country and the second highest recruit in the history of Iowa basketball to Caitlin Clark. Just your thoughts when that news broke. I knew that the rumors have been swirling for a couple of weeks.
I was on with David Eichel doing our press review show, and I asked
that broke.
Literally finished it. It was 9:58. She was committing at 10, and we hopped off, and I was like, "So is she? We got her?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's been done for a while." What I've noticed, and I don't know exactly where she's going to play. I think I listened to you say maybe it was she could play anywhere 2 or 4.
She's more of a 3.
Okay,
I mean, I think at college she's probably going to be more of a 3.
Well, and I think what's interesting is if you look at the Iowa Hawkeyes, specifically the Iowa women's basketball team, they've gotten bigger size-wise. And my initial thought was like, Camila Cardoso might have by herself shifted our recruiting. It helps when you're getting some of the best in the country. Often the best in the country come with the intangibles, the tangibles, the measurables, right? They're a little bit bigger. But like you go across I'm so excited to watch Layla Hayes.
Alaska's own.
Crazy that we got her to come from, all the way up there. Who's our big from last year?
Ava Hayden.
Hayden.
Yeah. She's going to be year older, you're stronger.
We can kind of match up size-wise now where we couldn't. I mean, you think about I'm losing all these names.
Well, you also got Hannah Stolke, who was just named first team All Big Ten.
And she was our at 6. How tall is Stolke?
She's a good 6'1". Yeah.
But she was our matchup against Carter. Like we had to guard.
Yeah, she's the best athlete on the team.
And that's what we had to do. Now we actually have the size paired with the skill. And where I was going with this is you now have a 3 at 6'2". Like we're getting taller across the board. The average height of the 5 that we're going to have on the court, and Kashin's probably listening like, this guy's the dumbest.
Well, the one thing that we should clarify, I just said Hannah Stolke. Velichko will not be here until 2026.
Right, she's coming.
This is Hannah's last year. So they will need help at the 4.
Sure.
But to your point, if you have a 6'1", 6'2", quote unquote 3, who can handle the ball. I called her kind of a point forward the way she plays because she's got some good ball skills. I hesitate to anoint somebody as a point forward at the college level because I just think it changes so much. I mean, I watched Tegan Mulaney in high school. She made some people look silly up there in Wisconsin, and she struggled last year. And true freshmen struggled, but I mean, I'm just saying
it feels like
there's a curve.
Yeah, it feels like at the college level in the women's game. Again, I'm just way off my rocker saying stuff like this, but it feels like athleticism and certain skills can take you into, like, it gives you the ability to play one of those traditional, like, I'm a 2, I'm a 3. It's a little bit more like the men's game. Sometimes you find guys and you're like, that's a 5.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, but there's some crossover in the women's game where athleticism can really go a long ways. We should probably see if Kashin.
Let's see if we got
and give us
we got
better.
Cash Money with us. Cash.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, there she is.
You can hear us just fine over here.
Sorry, guys.
I'm making sure everybody here on the patio of this tap room can hear you as well. So I think we're good.
My voice does carry. So, I mean,
we can hear you all the way from Charlotte.
I think it'll be fine. Hello, fans. Hello.
First question I have to ask you, how is Juliana? That's the question I lead with every time that we talk and every time that we have you on the show. How's Juliana doing? How's school going? Right?
She is good. She started preschool this year, so she is having a blast.
She's a people person, I imagine.
Just like her mother. Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how old's your
She'll be 3 in December.
Okay. I was gonna say not too far different. So she's got about a year preschool.
Yeah, it's crazy. The place that she goes is actually like it's structured like a preschool. She's 2 and they've got like lesson plans for them. It's a
daycare, but in general.
Yeah, but they for as much as a 2.5-year-old can focus, they do they're already starting on their letters and all that stuff. So it's crazy. Very cool.
Well, Kashin, it's always good to hear from you. I mean, this is like a introduction to the next several months because we're gonna be back. We are. So this is great to have you, folks. If you're new and you haven't seen our show with Kashin Alexander, we're live after Iowa women's basketball games, taking your calls, taking your comments, and discussing the game, discussing the program. And I guess the elephant in the room, Kashin, is quite a land this week for your old assistant coach, Jan Jensen. McKenna Velichko, top 6 player in the country, according to basically every website out there. She's a 6'1", 6'2", 3/4. I think she projects more as a 3. I think you heard us talk about that. Before we get to like just your thoughts on what she brings to that 26 class, can you give us kind of an idea of, are you surprised at the success Jan has had? So I don't want to make too much out of this because this is one 5-star, but there's talk that maybe this can produce a bit of a domino effect for Iowa women's basketball. Are you surprised at the success that she has had recruiting in just 1 year with the program as the head coach?
No. She has recruited some of the best post players in women's college basketball over the years, right? So I'm not surprised by that at all. Jan Jensen has always been a fantastic recruiter. I think that it's a relief, though, for her, because at the end of the day, it's different recruiting as an assistant coach than it is as a head coach. And landing top 6 in the class is huge. That's it proves not only to you as a person, right, as a head coach, but it also proves to everybody else. It proves to coaches, it proves to recruits, it proves everything in regards to that Iowa women's basketball can still be relevant, right? Everybody's question after Caitlin was, what's going to happen? They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. They're not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to do that. And this is proving that don't count those Hawkeyes out just yet. And honestly speaking, I say this and I said it last time. What she is selling is not only, Iowa women's basketball, but she is selling the fans. I can almost guarantee it, 99.9%, that one of the biggest draws to Iowa is, one, we don't have professional sports. We are the sport, right? Number 2, how Iowa women's basketball fans rallied around Caitlin. They rallied around everybody, how they show up to away games, how they show up for their players. That is a huge selling point to anybody, because now they're thinking, well, heck, I can go in there and be a Caitlin, in their mindset, like they're going to fall in love with me too, especially such a high recruit. And I think that is enticing to a lot of high school players. And finally, she got that big name, that big number on the board. And I think it's going to trickle down from here. So I am very happy for Coach Jay. But yeah, don't count the Hawkeyes out just yet.
Give us an idea, Kashin, because you and I had a conversation when this news first broke earlier this week privately, but give fans an idea of the dynamic that was Jan Jensen as a recruiter when Lisa was the head coach, and how you assume or presume that changes or has changed since Jan took over.
Yeah, so back then, Coach Bluter used to kind of separate by position. So, for example, guards were with those coaches. So Coach Jay was the post coach. So she was heavily like the lead recruiter in posts, right? So Megan Gustafson, like Monica Cesano, those kinds of players, right? She was the lead recruiter in that. Obviously, it matters. The head coach has to be involved in everything, but she's the lead recruiter. She's the one talking to them all the time. She's the one that's going to be arranging visits and things like that. That's the main thing, right? So now that she's the head coach, she's now in charge of pretty much all recruits to a degree, right? And that's a little bit different in that aspect. So I don't know what Coach Jay has transitioned to fully, right? Because I'm not there anymore. But it is definitely a transition from being the assistant to being the head coach, because now you have a lot more people to kind of keep an eye on, should I say, talk to, things like that. But Coach Jay is the gift of gab. I say that all the time. I've been saying it since I was a player. She knows how to talk to people. And I used to say she was Coach Bluter's mouthpiece in a sense, because I felt like she was the person who was able to talk through anything. And I think that's going to transition for her being in the head coach level as well.
I know it's early and there's, tape is limited, Kashin, but have you been able to see any of McKenna's highlights or anything you're able to comment on, just what you see in her?
Yeah, I think I used to joke a lot when I was coaching about that's an Iowa kid. I used to say that all the time because you could just tell the types of kids that would fit in Iowa system in that aspect. And she fits that.
Sounds
obviously
like the
she's
football
really
team.
good. We know that, but she fits the Iowa program. She's unselfish. She is able to put the ball on the floor. She can shoot the ball. She has a high IQ. Those are things that fit Iowa basketball, and the things that Coach Bluder used to say, that's beautiful basketball. That's what fits it. Especially the offense that we like to play, you have to have a high IQ, because there's not much you have to be here, you have to be there. You have to read each other. And so with her, I think she fits us very well in regards to how we want to play and what the kind of basketball we want to play. Now, I don't know about her defense. I can't tell you that. But in regards to offense, I think she fits. But Coach Jay, defense is her thing, so I'm sure she'll get her up to speed.
Yeah. So I guess let's get that, and I want to ask you specific before we let you go. I want to ask you, and if Tyler's got anything, of course, I don't want to dominate this, but I want to ask you specifically about defense, because when Coach Jay took over, we saw a recognizable difference in defensive play from the get-go. In fact, it seemed like the offense was behind the defense. We saw some quarter. I remember making the comment to you during the season, that game at Drake and the game against Kansas up in Sioux Falls, and games where Iowa would hold their opponent to single digits in a quarter, which is a pretty amazing feat. Now, you want consistency there, and there's other areas that the team had to improve as the year went on. But what do you think we'll see in year 2 with Jan that will look different from year 1? Will it be more of what we saw with Lisa now that she's had a year to acclimate these girls?
Yeah, so usually when a coach becomes a first-time head coach, it's whatever they're strongest at is what the team ends up embodying, right? So that's usually what happens. Now with offense, is usually, I'm not going to lie to you, no matter if you're good at offense or not, it's usually a slow tick, because you're seeing it from a different aspect as a head coach than you are as an assistant. So that's a little bit slower on, catching up, should I say. But I do believe that was a hard year for her in general. Not only her being first year, but the team had to figure out how to play without Caitlin. That's not easy, like, as much as she dominates the ball. So I felt like all of that encompassing, we had a heck of a year. That's tough for any team. And so I feel like with them, especially some people returning, with that happening, I think they'll have a summer and off season to kind of gel a little bit more. And they also didn't play with Hannah in the preseason. There was so much going against us at the beginning of that season that I feel like they are going to come in fresher. They're going to come in knowing what their identity is, where, we struggled with that last year, not really knowing. I feel like they'll have time to figure that out. Now, what their identity is, we will see. But I do feel like they have time to figure that out. So I feel like we'll see a little bit more identity shift in regards to what they're actually going to be.
And Sita Falter was also dealing with injuries during the offseason leading up to last year. So you have her and Hannah, who are kind of like the mainstays, returning.
Yep.
And
they can't play.
Yep. And Aaliyah Guyton. There's another story that I know people are like, they've cast her aside because she's a traitor. She went to Illinois and yada, yada, yada. But she was coming in as a pretty highly touted freshman, coming off a serious knee injury. She was slow to come back. One more question, and I want to throw it to Tyler. I brought up yesterday, actually we released the video today. Hannah Stolke was named preseason first team All Big Ten. And, she's multi All Big Ten player, second team All Big Ten player. But you and I talked extensively last year about what she needed to do to take her game to the next level. Yeah. And I think we both were comfortable at least agreeing that to a point, her being hampered by injuries in the offseason hurt her development as a true four, someone who could stretch the floor. I think I looked at her numbers yesterday. She's like 2 of 17 from 3. So she's as of now, what we have on tape, she's no threat to make 3-pointers. None. So the question is, has she developed that? Will she develop that? And so this is her last year to do that and showcase that at the college level. I also think that lends itself to WNBA prospects. You tell me what you think we'll see from Hannah and what we need to see from Hannah, because I'm assuming that you're assuming she's going to be the go-to player in the offense without Lucy.
So I think they are the same thing. What we're going to see and what we need to see have to be the same thing. This is her last. It has to be the same thing. So with that being said, I think that, yes, I'm not expecting her to become this knockdown 3-point shooter. No, I just want her to be a threat. So make 1 out of 3. That's it. Be a threat so that they have to at least put a hand up. I would also like to see Hannah not be a straight line driver. So what I mean by that is, like, once Hannah puts the ball on the floor, that's it. I don't want that. I want her to be able to have a little bit more texture to her game. So meaning that she has another option, whether that is a counter move off of the drive. We're not talking a post up. I'm talking off the drive. Whether she's able to pass on the move and have body control to stop and not keep going for a charge. I want to see things like that. I don't foresee her I hope we don't see her a ton on the block. I hope. But if we do, for whatever reason, I would like to see her finish better. Finish through contact. Heck, some of it's not even through contact. It's just somebody being there. So I just want to see her finish through contact. Those are the things that I feel like would take her game to the next level, not only for herself and her professional career, but also for Iowa women's basketball.
She does that thing where she her go-to is leaning in and trying to draw the foul when she posts up. So I made the comment that she needs to develop her post moves, but at the same time, like I want her focus to be more on developing her ability to knock down at least mid-range shots. I mean, if she's not, anyways, Tyler, anything to add here? Questions for Kasheen?
No, this is great. Good to meet you, Kasheen, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm a football guy. We do football on our show. So
all right.
Maybe I'll join Cory more. Going all the way back to what you said at the first part, I do think it would be funny to have insight into Jan's emotions of like, because even in the most confident coaches, high level performers, everyone's still not sure. Like, do I have it? So this has to be a feather in the cap for that. But I think the first one was actually keeping Addie Deal.
Agreed.
Going back to that had to give her some base of, okay, and Layla to be, the big recruits of last year to say, okay,
Journey Houston is a pretty good.
She
recruit.
didn't lose any, right? She didn't lose any, right?
Right. She didn't lose any.
All these high school girls who aren't on campus yet, they aren't a part of the culture of the program, but they still, without being a part, those are Bluter recruits. Yep. And then she leaves, and they're like, "No, I'm good with Jan too." Like that's got to feel good. You add McKenna. My question for you, Kasheen, is this Iowa program, its floor is elevating.
Mm-hmm.
It continues to elevate. As a former player, someone who now is doing shows like this, what is a realistic expectation? What is success in year two for Jan Jensen? I know that's as a former player myself, I get that question and you're like, oh boy. What do you think? What do you think is success? Last year, I do think they kind of over-delivered it in a lot of ways in year one with a lot of different variables. As they establish 1 year of kind of consistency, what does success look like? And maybe on the other end of that, like what is disappointing for this team?
I think this next year is, and the crazy part is we were so close yet so far last year. Does that make sense? I hope everybody knows what I mean by that. Like there were so many games where we should have won, could have won, right? So I think for me, and I only care about Big Ten because honestly, I feel like that's all that matters. I get non-conference, but I'm a coach, so.
Give us credit for beating Drake, Kasheen. Credit us for beating Drake.
I mean, it's whatever. As long as you beat Iowa State, I really don't care. But I think for me, it's contending in the Big Ten. That's for me. So, I mean, honestly speaking, the Big Ten is so good that it's probably top 5.
I was going to say
because of how tight things could be. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm assuming, again, based off of what I'm thinking, I'm assuming that it's going to be really tight next year. So just like it was this year, it usually is. And so top 3, top 4 is technically where you're at, where you won maybe 2 games, deciding factor, maybe a half a game, depends on the situation. And so for me, I want to be able to contend. I want to get down to February, January, and we're like, oh, okay, like every game matters because we're right there. That's, to me, I would be like, okay, we're moving in the right direction.
Do you think they can do that? I mean, I'm not trying to act like I don't believe they can. I'm asking you that question because
I know they can.
Hey, listen, just to clarify this, McKenna Velichko, as great as she may be,
she's not there yet.
She's not there yet.
Layla Hayes, Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
And maybe Addie Deal's right behind her, but I'm just saying that they are. We had this conversation a year ago. You're replacing Caitlin Clark. They're now replacing Lucy Olson. Mm-hmm. And these ifs and all these things we're talking about with Hannah, we have yet to see them. Yeah. So I have major question marks about who the go-to scorer is if Hannah hasn't developed her at least mid-range game And even if she has, I still have questions of who's their lead guard. Is it
So,
Addie Deal? Is it a
Chit-Chat.
true freshman? Is it Chit Chat? Is
Chit-Chat.
it Emily Rodriguez, a transfer from UCF? What are your thoughts on this, Kasheen? We're going to talk in our preview show more about
Of course. So here's my thing. I know that Iowa women's basketball in general, the culture of Iowa women's basketball always makes us overperform what we probably should. It happens every year,
Iowa
right?
football.
Like who we are, the girl, they love each other. Like we always end up getting more than we probably should. So my mindset is, one, I think Ava is going to have a fantastic sophomore season. I really do. She was figuring it out at the end of the season, and it's only going to get better. She's got confidence going into the off season in the summer. She's going to gain more weight in the summer because that's when they lift heavy. You know what I'm saying? So like,
She might be a problem.
I think she's going to be huge for us on the block. That's how I feel.
Is she going to be a problem? He says she's going to be a problem.
I think I really, what I saw from her and her motor at the end of the season, I was like, ooh-wee, this girl's going to be really good. I said that. So I truly believe that with the off season, I think, and obviously I told you before, she needs a little strength, especially in the post. So my hope is that they kind of work on that over the summer, but I feel really good about Ava. I do. I like Chit Chat for many reasons. Okay. I think she's the spunk. I think she's the fire that we were missing last year. You know how everybody was joking about the ha laughing faces. I don't feel like we're going to get that this year. So I feel really good about that. She brings defensive intensity. She can shoot the three. We have a lot of really good pieces, right? We may not have like a superstar, right? But if you have some great pieces that know their role and fit, they can be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And what's the evolution of Taylor Stremlow?
Yep.
Right? That's a big question.
That's a big one too.
I mean, I think her ability to handle the ball and be a leader, because I think she's a leader off the court.
The fans love her.
Yeah, I think, and she just had no offensive game last year. She just had no offense. Will Jada Gemphy give them something this year, Kasheen? She's in her last year.
She's a glue girl.
Well,
that's where I'm at, Tyler. I don't see that. I don't see it, but you never know. Okay. But I think I agree with Tyler. She's a glue girl.
She's a culture player.
Yeah, she's a culture girl.
Yeah.
For sure. But again, I can't wait to see a Chit Chat Deal combo. I can't wait to see that. I feel like that is going to be very interesting.
Those are two young players.
I just feel very, I don't know. I can't wait to see those two on the court together. I feel like it'll be, I don't know. I feel very intrigued about that duo. Don't ask me why.
Exciting. If anything, it'll be exciting.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of excitement about just hoops in general, from the men's basketball front to women's basketball. And when we cut you loose, Kasheen, we're gonna
basketball. This is gonna be fun this year.
Are you gonna watch the men's basketball games now?
I am. I absolutely am.
There's something to be exciting about.
I gotta see the new coach, because if I'm not mistaken, he's pretty fiery in a different kind of way.
I think he's just a darn good coach.
Yeah,
I think he's just a darn good coach.
Some of the compliments that he's got, like people call him like a basketball savant.
Yeah,
he's gotten that one before.
And he's just like Fran. He's a former point guard, so give Fran credit for that. Fran was a point guard too, but
I hear that they're getting a lot of money.
Oh, not Iowa men's basketball.
Yeah,
that is. I want to be very respectful to previous coaching staff. That doesn't surprise me.
We rich.
Are you committing some money to Iowa men's basketball tonight, Tyler?
It ain't my money. I don't have enough money to affect the recruiting trail. I have heard.
I'm letting you pay for my beer if that's the case.
I have heard that
Drake Kulik
with the turnover. No, not yet. I've heard from Drake. Drake told me. I've heard that with the turnover, that our program is probably higher in payroll than most fans think it is.
Well, they've landed 2 4-stars since he got there. So, I mean, yeah, money does talk. Look at Iowa State up the road. So, absolutely. And before we let you slide, here's a super chat from Erica. So Erica Goldberg's in our chat. So thank you, Erica. She says, hi there. How do you guys feel about Emily Rodriguez? I think she'll be coming off the bench to start. There are too many other great pieces. She's the gritty guard that's transferred in from UCF. And yeah, I guess the way I would answer that question, Erica, is just more grit. They're losing grit and they're losing toughness with Sidafalter being gone.
Mhm.
So I know we've compared her to Sidafalter and looking at some of her tape from the Big 12 last year, Kashin, but we haven't seen her play in a Hawkeye uniform. But what can you say in response to Erica?
I agree with her second piece in regards to no, well, I read that wrong. Just kidding. I think she'll be a good piece, a good fit piece. I do feel that way. My hope is that she is coming into a situation where I don't feel like she feels like she has to overperform to a degree. And I think that's a good place for her to be, because it's hard coming in as a transfer, kind of like a Lucy, right? Like that's a hard position to come into and know that everything is on you. So I feel that she could give us some good things this year. What they are, we shall see how she fits into our system. I'm not like super high on her fitting in our system, but I'm also not like, why did we get her? I'm not there.
And
I'm like, okay, I like that. That's not bad.
And let me just say one more thing on Chit Chat, right? And again, we're going to talk more in our preview. That girl's fearless.
I can't wait.
That's what's exciting is like if you can get some young guns to play fast.
She has got some.
Yeah. She's so fast.
Let me just be very clear on this. I'm not trying to compare her directly to Caitlin Clark, but she's got some Caitlin fearlessness in her. Like the shots, if you go back and look at her tape, freshman year at Georgia Tech, she's jacking shots from all over the court, and she's not. I think it's she's small.
She's small.
I think she's smaller than you were, Kashin.
She is fast. She's small. She's mighty. She's going to be the kid who, like, she plays great defense and something goes off somebody's leg and she's clapping. Like, she's that fiery, and we need that. Lord, we needed that last year. She was probably the most exciting player that I felt, or at least that I was excited about. That's going to be
Iowa. Kashin, Iowa needs someone who's willing to talk. Trash talk, chatter.
Absolutely.
Or might I say just chit chat.
No pun intended.
Somebody super chat that one. I mean, my goodness.
Please.
Citrus Surfer in, folks. Anyways, all right. Kashin Alexander, and thank you for being here, Cash, all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. How is the Achilles?
Does she have a torn Achilles?
I do.
You can tell our people here at Big Grove about your volleyball situation.
I tore my Achilles 3 weeks ago. I had surgery 2 weeks ago.
Man.
So you guys will be getting handicap cash all season. But,
That's kind of a sick nickname, handicap cash.
Handicap cash, yeah.
Handicap cash.
You're going to be begging for the show.
Wait. Nobody clip that. And don't start it in the chat either. Don't start it.
I have all of these ready for shirts, just so you're aware. I have all these for shirt designs in the hopper. So
I'm calling in this year for men's basketball, though. I'm for sure.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Gary Close, Kashin Alexander combo is great. So, folks, stay tuned in the next few weeks because Kashin and I will be coming out with a preview, an official Iowa women's basketball preview as we count down the days. We've got an exhibition game later this month, so it is literally right around the corner. Just when some football fans start to tune out, there's always hope because we got hoops.
Yeah. Well, that the reality of that, both men's and women's this year is
it's real.
That is real.
Absolutely. Kashin, thank you for being here. We always enjoy seeing your face and hearing your great takes. And we'll talk to you more in the upcoming season.
Absolutely. Thanks. Go Hawks.
Thanks, Cash. Absolutely. Go Hawks. We are here live at Big Grove Brewery down in Des Moines. Tyler Kluver, Washed Up Walk-Ons. I'm Cory Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We've got some great loyal listeners who have showed up and showed out. So thank you all.
And a bunch of other people who are sitting there eating their dinner. Like
I was gonna say,
who are these guys in the
why
corner?
Are those people talking into microphones and why are they disrupting my beer?
Like the combo you didn't want, but you got anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Sam, thank you. Sam Corbin's a new member on
not new from the walk-on army though. Sam's a big time contributor.
I think.
Over there.
Hold on a second. We're going to start fighting here. I think Sam has
been
a
member.
Want that. This guy lifts. Sam has been a YouTube member on our platform.
Just a new member.
No. I think he's been a member, and maybe he paused his membership.
But
maybe he went through some rough times.
He's back.
He's back. So, Sam, thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Lemansky throwing a super chat. He says, when I see cash, all will be so fine. So,
how about that one?
How about that one? That's great. Lemansky, we always appreciate hearing
She
from
made
you.
the show look better than we did. So that's
And Doug, right here, adding the super chat. Doug, do you want to get your face in the camera for a second?
Come join.
Because Mr. Doug just threw in a super chat, so he gets a cameo. Doug is here all the way from Story County. Drove down for the show. Thank you, Doug. He says, my prediction for men's basketball, 22-9 overall, 12-8 in the Big Ten. Mark it, take it to the bank. If they do that, they're in the tournament. And I'm trying to think seed-wise where they would be in the tournament. As in that large, they're probably I got Tony's over here giving me like a 6 seed vibe. I don't know that they'd be 6 seed. 12-8 in the conference. 12-8 in the well. He's I will say he's a numbers guy. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you an answer on that. I'm not a basketball guy.
You're not a basketball guy? Didn't you play? Wait a minute.
Here we go.
You played basketball.
Sure did. But I'm not. I can't tell you. I don't know enough about you just give me a record in conference.
Okay,
total
I got you.
record,
Numbers,
and I can
sure.
just tell you, hey, that's a what seed. I'm
Okay.
not into the tournament in basketball like that.
So
I did play basketball though.
Yeah.
Averaged 4.8 points my senior year at Marshall.
Well,
High.
you're the bulldog. You were nicknamed the little bulldog.
I was
for the Bobcats.
I don't think that was actually my nickname.
Bobcat Bulldog.
Yeah.
So we've given a lot of time for football. We'll circle back to football to finish this thing off. We're about an hour in.
Yeah.
So, but let's transition to men's basketball for a few minutes because we've spent a lot of time talking about women's hoops. But there is a lot of excitement for the Ben McCollum era to begin. And, I don't really know where you go other than Bennett Sturts to start the conversation. Potential lottery pick, a guy who could have easily gone to the NBA draft and been picked and had a chance to make a team this year. He decides to transfer with Ben McCollum. I think that speaks to the loyalty that Ben has created with his guys all the way from Northwest Missouri State to Drake there. And by the way, I meant no disrespect to Drake when I mentioned giving respect to the Iowa win over Drake. We're in Des Moines here.
We are.
So that might be dangerous to do that here in Des Moines.
I like Drake.
Drake's respectable in basically every sport. So shout out to the Drake Bulldogs. But let's talk about Bennett Sturts. I mean, his ability to create off the dribble and facilitate, especially in year one in a new system, and having played in this system with Ben McCollum for several years, that's huge.
Yeah, it might be the underrated part of everything is the consistency between those two. You have a head coach who's going to bring a new culture, a new feel, a new vibe. I mean, everybody on social media, you've seen it. It's such a weird experience. I don't know if Hawkeye fans have ever – most fan bases haven't been through something like this in the new NIL portal era where you look at last year and this year, we have, one kid? The Kingsbury?
Cooper Koch.
Or Koch.
Yeah. Kingsbury transferred too.
Yeah. Koch is the only one. You essentially have a front-to-back, a brand-new team. As Hawkeye fans, we don't know. It's a completely different basketball team. And so how could you not be excited? But there is some downsides to that. And again, that's a lot of questions to answer. It's fun, but there's a lot of questions to answer. And the first one is, who's our guy? And Bennett Sturts is I believe, that guy. The fact that these people know what they're doing when they're coming out with mock drafts and lottery pick projections. I've seen him at like number 3, number 4. What?
He's got to show out. I mean, I don't think he's rolling the dice because I'm guessing he's betting the house on himself and on his coach. But he's got to show out in the Big Ten. He's not going to be able to just be an average Big Ten player and remain where those projections have him right now.
Sure.
But that is an indication of his skill set, his body, all of those things, which translate. If they translate to the NBA, they're going to translate to the Big Ten. Yeah,
most impressive about him and sort of the way that McCollum. I know a little bit about this. I listen to podcasts. I watch. I'm on the edge here. The way he played his guys last year at Drake, they play a lot of minutes. Sturts is conditioned.
Yep.
And then you hear immediately when he comes in, he gets hired. People are doing some interviews with him, and he's talking about, we work. We go to we love the weight room here. We love the conditioning around here. That gets me going because I'm a strength conditioning guy. And physically, these guys, I think basketball is different than football, which is sort of understand why I'm saying that. That's the preset that I come from. A lot of questions about Gronowski. Oh, can it translate to the Big Ten? Basketball is a little bit different. Sturts and these guys have been playing on AAU teams and, these other showcases that they go and do. They play against that kind of talent, that kind of speed. It's a different thing in basketball. So I don't think, in the Big Ten's physical, right? It's probably more physical than the Missouri Valley. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Bennett. There's some question marks on the rest of that roster, and they're going to have to fill that out. I know Cam Maniau is the second person going to Big Ten Media Days. I think I saw.
Okay,
so
I didn't see that, but that's good to know.
Or whatever the. I don't.
You know how to pronounce his name. You said Cam Maniau.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
I listened. I'm in the podcast game. I listened. I don't know for any other reason that I've heard other people say it. But it seems like he could be another guy.
Yeah.
He came over.
Physical dude, really good rebounder.
Yeah.
Maybe a little undersized to be a 5, but they play kind of positionless basketball.
And that's what they said. We had one of McCollum's former players on our podcast when the hire happened, and not only a former player, but then coached G8 under McCollum at Northwest. And he says, they just look for a bunch of like athletic 4s that can shoot, and they'll play 5 of them if they have to. Like McCollum is really, and maybe this is why people call him a savant. He plays to his guys so well. He will do whatever they're good at and whatever's going to work. He said last year the big focus on Drake was like, oh my God, they take forever to get shots. They use the entire shot clock. He just says that's not even necessarily what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get high percentage shots. And so if it takes that long in the shot clock, so be it. If they can get high percentage shots right away, they'll take them. And so I love listening to him talk. He's kind of like Lester, super fun guy to hear how their mind works around the game. And it's going to be really exciting.
Alvaro Forgueras comes over from Robert Morris. He's a long, rangy guy.
Yeah.
He's a foreign kid who can, fill it in from
How tall
everywhere.
is he?
I think he's 6'9", 6'8", somewhere in there. They got a lot of guys who are in that 6'8" to 6'9" range. Then you mentioned did you mention that, or did someone else mention Trevin Urick
From Valley.
Mr. Iowa, right?
Yeah. 6'11".
Yeah, he's probably their biggest guy.
Huge.
Yeah. So, is he going to be Big Ten ready in year one?
That's
a fair question.
Maybe.
Maybe. And then they bring in 4-star Trey Thompson. Where is he going to be in year one? I don't know, but obviously a great ad.
Kansas State kid.
Brendan Housen. Brendan Housen. There's another one.
Sharp.
They're going to need his 3-point shooting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you like that because he played in the Big 12.
Right.
That's like he can play at that level. So.
And we know Fulgaris can play at that level because, a couple of these guys have played, like Bennett Sturts, played in the NCAA tournament against, Power 4 teams.
Played well.
Right. He played against major teams. Fulgaris did the same thing. Housen has done that. So, it's not like we don't know that these guys can play at this level. But I think the biggest question mark, at least personally in year one, if this team is going to be an NCAA tournament team, their schedule – that was the first question I asked Ben McCollum when he got hired was, how do you approach scheduling? And his answer didn't surprise me. He approaches it similarly to Fran. He looks at it from a perspective of his team, and I don't perceive that he's a big fan of the Maui Invitational. I think more coaches are getting away from that format where you're playing all these games in 1 week. But based on the makeup of this year's schedule, which is released, there aren't a ton of opportunities at marquee victories. So how quickly can he have them up to speed in November and December?
Yeah.
Because it's a gauntlet once you get to the Big Ten. If Doug is right and they get to 12-8, they're in.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty positive, favorable prediction.
Yeah, and that's a 60% win rate.
That's a really good first year under McCollum.
Big Ten. It's funny. You see the Big Ten rankings, and like Iowa is such a question mark that in an 18-team league, they're like, they're in the bottom 4 because they're just a total question mark. Who knows? I think what's interesting about McCollum, I think we maybe heard the same interview on this, is like these coaches really have to consider the quadrants and how each of these games is going to be looked upon. Is it worth it to play away versus home versus this team versus the other? Because what I like about the quadrants too is it's fluid. It changes. What I hate about college football is that if you win against a team that is ranked, and it's a little bit different because we're talking quadrants versus ranked teams, but if you win against a team that is ranked, those ranked wins end up being a part of your resume later on in those discussions.
Even though those rankings are complete rubbish and hogwash.
They're built off of a poll that's made before you ever see a team, especially
stupid
in the NIL era.
And real quick, and a bunch of people who are voting that don't watch all the games. They don't
watch the games. And so you could have 3 ranked wins, in the first half of your schedule. By the end of the season, none of those teams are ranked anymore. They just turn out to not be who they thought. They're not who we thought they were. But then at the end of the year, they're like, well, Iowa's got 3 ranked wins. It's like, but they're not though. So I love that where I'm going with that is I love that in basketball, it's only looked at the end of the year. It might be a quadrant 1 win now, but will it stay that way? And you're kind of like, oh, you can't play this game. It doesn't matter. You can't control what other teams do, but you're hoping that the teams you beat do well because you're now like, oh, we need these quad 1 wins. It all affects that. And he talked about that. And the formula for that is really, really interesting. So that all goes into scheduling as well.
Yeah, so the opportunities, if you haven't looked over the schedule, really the best opportunity is at Iowa State in early December. That's going to be a bear, right?
That's tough.
And it has been. And Hilton's one of the best places to play in the country. Tony, you know that. You're an Iowa guy. It is a phenomenal venue. But, say you go there and you knock off the Cyclones, that's making your mark in year 1 if you're Ben McCollum.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to count them out of that. Who knows, right?
Well, similar to what I asked Kashin is like, how do you even start to break down what is success for Ben McCollum in year 1?
I think it's got to be tournament. I don't think you gauge success anymore based on NIT and the crown and the nobody cares invitational. The bar has to be the tournament. And so if he doesn't make the tournament in year 1, you're not going to fire him, but you're going to say, okay, work to do and get back. You're not going to call it a failure. Don't you think the tournament has to be the bar?
Again, I naturally don't off the top of my head know as much of what level of success really it takes to get into the tournament, just as a gut feeling. I do think there's ways similar to Iowa, the playoff expanding in football for a team like Iowa, who's really they're not an elite program in college football, but in the macro level, they're probably a second tier team, a team that is very often going to finish 8-9 wins right at the edge of the rankings, right? A second tier college football team. You have the elite, and then you have maybe 10 through 15 or 10 through 25. They're in that second tier often. And now for those teams, it's all about, well, are we in the playoff or not? Especially once it gets to 16 teams. If you don't make the playoff, that's going to be the barometer of success for a lot of people. We either made the playoff or we didn't. And
well, I mean, for some teams, fair enough, right? For some programs, fair enough.
That's reality. And so I don't know if the tournament serves as the same sort of red line of, is that success as the Iowa basketball program? It's probably higher than just making the tournament in basketball. It's probably, and for Iowa specifically, it's the Sweet 16. People are looking for the Sweet 16. Now, I think in the first couple of years, if McCollum finds himself in the second round.
But would Fran have been fired? Here's a question. Would Fran McCaffrey have been fired?
Would have won against Tennessee?
Well, you can ask that question. I was just going to say if they had snuck into the tournament the last couple of years, I don't think he would be fired. I really don't think. I don't think he would be. I think he would still be here.
I don't know. I'm not Beth Getz. I don't get paid.
Well, Beth Getz or not, I think there's a lot of ADs that gauge their men's basketball
just off making the tournament.
By making the tournament.
Yeah,
I could be wrong on that. Maybe the times have changed enough, and now we're hearing this stuff about further NCAA tournament expansion, and obviously that. Yeah, I don't like it either. I think it's a money grab.
I also hate going back to what you're saying. I also hate just making a marker this sole thing. Like, did they make the turn? You make it really black and white when that happens. And sports, teams, coaches, recruits, the portal, NIL, none of that is black and white. And so it's very hard to make the results, the output, a black and white judgment when all of the inputs are very much so in the gray area. And so, there's a lot of, what if half the players get hurt and they fight really hard and get 1 or 2 big wins, but they don't do enough to make the tournament at the end of the year?
There's a human aspect to the evaluation
has to be a
process.
Subjective. It can't just be objective. Did you or did you not?
Right.
But that is the game that Beth and the staff, they have to play. So it's interesting.
So to give people an idea, I've alluded to the men's basketball schedule, which, if people aren't aware, begins here in about a month. So they'll get an exhibition game, and maybe I'm missing something. Do we know who's our exhibition game? Tony knows.
It's against
Tony,
the
come over here
Marshalltown
and
Bobcats.
actually speak into the mic. Tell because it's not listed on their website. Tell us who's the exhibition.
They have 2 secret scrimmages. One's against Texas Tech and Iowa City, and one is against St. Louis University in St. Louis.
I don't want to know about secret scrimmages. I want to know what the actual exhibition game is. They don't have one?
They substitute the secret scrimmage for the exhibition.
What do you mean they substitute the secret scrimmage?
I love the secret scrimmage.
So they've got 2 secret. See, I learned from the people that come out here that is. When's the last time Iowa didn't play a formal exhibition in front of fans?
Athletes in action, back in the day when they played them.
That's interesting. I'll have to cut a video. I got to cut a video on that.
By the way, for everybody at home here, it is crazy that we have 700 people watching us right now. That just blows my mind. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to Big Grove for giving us the spot here. Incredible.
Yeah, Tony's teaching me as we're here. I this is how ignorant I am and how caught up in football I am. I guess I didn't realize that Iowa doesn't have men's basketball does not have a formal scrimmage. My whole life, they've played a scrimmage, or excuse me, an exhibition in front of fans. So this is interesting. I don't mind it because who cares? For me, as somebody who's watching the game, I don't need to see them beat up on a Division III team. I think it's probably better for Iowa to go play like a Texas Tech, and actually play somebody decent to get a better gauge on what you're doing. So kudos to McCollum. I have no issue with that. First time I'm really hearing this.
Yeah, and they have the Texas Tech. One of his former guys is at Texas Tech, or he's
former coach. One of his former coaches is at Texas Tech.
Yeah, so that's the connection there where they can schedule that.
Luke Barnwell is at Iowa.
And I didn't know what I was saying is with the secret scrimmage, unlike an exhibition, you can stop and work on we want to work on this situation or that situation. We got an exhibition on TV. It just says score and time, and you can't stop and work on your thing.
Yeah, there's no sandbox.
And again, you're opening they open with Robert Morris. It's at the school of Alvaro Folgueras, former school for Folgueras. So that's cool. But in general, those two games are going to get the jitters out of playing in front of fans in Carver. So you'll get those 2 games. Then you get Xavier in Iowa City, Southeast Missouri, Chicago State. Then they go to Palm Springs and we'll play Ole Miss, and then either Grand Canyon or Utah. Get a couple of Big Ten games, at Iowa State game, and then Western Michigan and Bucknell, along with U.S. Lowell. Is that how you pronounce it, Lowell, or is it Lowell?
Well, we had a kid in Marshalltown with the last name Lowell. Lowell? Austin Lowell. You remember him?
Lowell. Is it spelled the same way?
It was spelled the same way. And
Sorry, I don't remember that.
I believe he dropped out and was sent away somewhere. But anyway, Austin's probably not watching
moment
the chat.
Here. We apologize.
No, I think
we love you, Austin.
It is funny. I think those secret scrimmages against some better opponents,
I like that.
They're reminiscent of like a co-practice in the NFL. When you get to go against somebody else, you get to see other people who are trying against you. You don't have to hit. You hear all the time about guys in camp. They're just ready to hit somebody else, somebody a different colored jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And ideally, that different colored jersey is one of quality. And playing somebody like Texas Tech and St. Louis.
And I'm not faulting Jan Jensen for doing what she's doing. Like they're playing.
No, everybody's got their approach.
Yeah. Women's basketball. They play Ashland on October 30th. Now, I'm not going to learn anything about
Big
Iowa
test.
from Ashland. Yeah, because then here's the deal. Then you play Southern and you play Evansville. But again, that's, like you said, unique approach to each coach.
Sure.
The women get Drake. They get at UNI. They have Baylor, Miami. So they have more opportunities at high major wins. They get UConn. That's obviously a massive
huge
game out in Brooklyn. So women's basketball has more opportunities at non-conference resume building wins.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks, thank you for being here. Yeah, as Tyler said, I heard him talking about the viewers. Thank you. 700 some viewers. Thank you for being here. And I apologize. I mean, there's too much going on as far as the production side of things and managing everything to look through every comment. If you left a super chat, we made sure we got that. And I'm just shocked. We've got 730 people, and we haven't really had people come in on the StreamYard asking questions. This is interesting. No callers. We had a couple of people come in and out, but this makes it pretty easy. I mean, I'm okay. I take plenty of calls from September until March. I take plenty of calls. I'm okay with a night off.
No need to just stress you out with with people.
No.
But it is crazy. We have 730 people. online. I'm sure people, hundreds more will catch us on the back end. Yeah, absolutely.
What's he saying?
He wants to ask a question. Give him the mic.
He wants to ask a question. We keep giving you them. We're really making an exception with you.
I'm leaving after this. I got to go to work. Tyler, the question for you is, now that we're during the bye week, what was the first week of practice versus the second week of practice? And how does Kirk handle things on bye weeks and stuff like that?
Relative to, like, this past week versus next week?
Yeah.
Great question from the crowd. Love it. So this first week where you're leading into a Saturday where you don't play is very much so for the young guys on the team. The older guys or the young guys who play a lot, they are going to rest, recover, treatment, all of that stuff. Monday's practice, they probably don't even touch the field. It's a really, really weird week, and they have two of them this year, where you almost feel like you're in the NFL, because there's a lot of times like you get nicked up in the NFL. You're like, yep, no practice for a few days. Like I get to be a superstar. That is what the older seniors, guys who play, get to do this week. It's very much so. There's a lot of drunk people that call you.
You like that?
For anybody listening, there's
usually it's the drunk people that call.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to say there's some truth in that, especially after a loss.
And they might be calling from yours truly, the Big Grove Brewery.
They're not coming. They're calling from many places.
From the bar on the side of town. Yeah. But no, so it's very much so it's what they call a Devo week. Developmental guys, the young guys, the
sort of like a bowl prep.
Very much so. The same thing happens during bull prep. Those guys get drug along. Like they are. It is a hyper. It's like an incubator, right, for the young guys. It's a hyper learning, hyper advancement period for people who are younger. They're 3s, they're 4s on the depth chart. They need to learn the scheme more. They need to physically develop more. There's a lot of heavy lifting that these guys are still doing during this week and really the whole season for the young guys. So they don't really move on to that next opponent until maybe the last practice of this week. And then they get a little bit of a head start on Sunday, slightly earlier than they would, a little bit more than they would after just playing a normal game on a normal week. And then really it's just, again, your normal week next week. They're back into routine and preparing for this time. It happens to be Wisconsin.
Michael Sassman, thank you for being here. He says, my 2 favorite Hawkeye pods in one. So we appreciate hearing that.
Very
much. It means a lot to both of us. So thank you, Michael, for being here. So let's finish this thing off. By the way, I should have mentioned this at the outset. I know it says on the bottom ticker, click the StreamYard link to call in. I've had some people, because I can tell, I get notified that people are trying to call the actual phone line, but we don't, with us being remote here, we don't have that capability to take those phone calls.
This is confusing enough as it is. I wish you guys could see it. It's unbelievable the amount of colors and chords.
Yeah, it's very colorful. I like that. So, but if you want to call in, please do so by StreamYard. Very easy. You don't have to show your face, but if you want to ask a question, please do that by StreamYard or throw in a super chat. We'll get to your comment. Okay, let's transition to this next week. So out of the bye, Iowa gets a trip to Wisconsin, which traditionally is one of the most difficult games Iowa would have on the schedule, because typically Iowa only played, 2 cross-divisional teams.
Yep.
And everybody else, 3, I guess. 3. And then everybody else was in the division. Wisconsin was the cream of the crop. You play on the road, that's a tough game. Now it's like one of the more favorable games on the schedule because of the nature of the new Big Ten and where Wisconsin has ended up.
Just take a second, Cory, to think about, we have 7 games left, and Wisconsin is likely your easiest game left.
That's
on the
a multifaceted,
maybe Michigan State, but
thing.
It's Wisconsin.
Yeah, Michigan State's at home. Yeah. I mean, you maybe the easiest game left in the schedule.
If you would have told me that a decade ago, I actually posted the picture today of us holding the bowl after our win in 2015. I would have told you, wow, something went drastically wrong with Wisconsin. And it has.
And now, here's my question. Is there any way, coming out of a bye week, that this is a trap game? Given what you just said, is there any way?
I don't think so this year, because it's not one aspect, one criteria for a trap game is that you're rolling, right? Like, and again, maybe a little bit. There's other criteria, but like I feel like one of those major criteria for a trap game is like, oh, your momentum is just crazy. And that's why you're overlooking maybe an opponent, because you're looking at the big dogs. we can't look at the big dogs right now. We got to look at everybody. One, because of our strength of schedule, but two, we're 3-2. Anymore, you have to just, and this is how they approach every single game anyway. You win, you go 1-0 every single week, and that is your season. And then you act like there is no games left on the schedule. You play next Saturday at Wisconsin like it's the last game of this year and it's everything. And then you reset Sunday and you do the same thing against Penn State the following week. And then you reset and you do the same thing against, I think, Minnesota the week after that. You simply can't. This team specifically cannot afford, and I know on the inside they have them in the mindset of there are no games after this. This is all that matters, and we'll worry about what actually is after this.
So I get ripped a lot, especially on our midweek show with Mark Rogers over on Iowa at the Voice College Football Channel. I get ripped a lot because what you said earlier is very much true. I do think as a football person, a lot of where I come from is the playoff with the expanded playoff. So I get ripped. Like this past Tuesday, I went on there and I'm like, okay, now they got to win out.
For the playoff, yeah.
That's what I say. Like, if they go 6-1, maybe they're in the conversation. If it looks okay, if the 6-1 looks good, but then people get mad because I'm talking about the playoff, and they're so angry that they perceive that I was out of the playoff race at 3-2. Like, it's over. Stop talking about it.
Yeah, I get the emotional reaction of like, why would you even talk about that? We're not even close.
But that's how
mathematically we are still technically.
They are, and that's what's great about the playoff.
Absolutely.
That's what's great about the 12-team playoff. That's what's great about expanding it past 4.
Yes.
Is they're not out of it. How hard it would be to imagine Iowa beating Oregon and Penn State both. But here's what I'll say. We watched Iowa last week against Indiana. Let me just give some level of hope to people who are down in the dumps about 3-2, that they did prove. I don't know that Indiana's on the level of an Oregon and Penn State. I'm not convinced of that yet.
We'll see next week.
We will see.
Indiana at Oregon.
See. True.
On the same day that I don't know. It could be on Friday. But
I think that game could get ugly.
I
think it could get ugly.
I think that Oregon. I think Penn State's still a question mark too. I think Oregon and Ohio State are on different. They might be in their own tier. Yeah.
Well,
and right now Indiana believes that they're in that tier. But I think that
they may believe that, but I don't believe that.
I don't either, and maybe they show that. But
maybe they do.
We will see next Saturday. It will be very evident.
They're crossing 3 time zones.
Yeah, that's tough regardless.
Yeah, to play Oregon. My point in bringing that up is not to give people false hope, but just to take literal. I mean, like I've always said, as a fan, you don't have to take one game at a time. I talked to some Indiana guys like a week ago, and they're like, well, we got to refocus on Iowa. What? I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
You can go drink a couple of beers and say, bring on Bama. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're a fan. The players do, and the coaches will take care of that.
Yes.
But as a fan, I think where we're at now at 3-2, my opinion is it would be healthy to a lot of fans to take one game at a time. And I say that because enjoy the moment. We're 5 games into the season that you've been waiting for how many months, right? In the offseason, 9 months, 8 months, 9 months. Enjoy one game at a time. If they go up and beat Wisconsin, they're not out of the playoff race. if you may believe they're out of it, but enjoy that game. Enjoy a win at Wisconsin. Hopefully they get it.
I enjoyed the Indiana game. It was a good football.
I enjoyed it until the final few minutes.
It hurt in the end, right? But if you think of it as a whole experience, and I personally got to be there.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Iowa State game. I was there for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Enjoyed that game.
We think about the last few seasons. This is really what you're getting at here. Is there's been a lot of people who are like, we go 10-2 and 23 and made the Big Ten championship. Got plastered, right? And you have a lot of people sitting there after we're 10-3 and just got embarrassed by Michigan, saying, "I'd rather go 8-4 and it be exciting."
Well, that's
hold on. I'd rather go 8-4 or hell 7-5 and it be exciting. And what I said on the show last week was, we're sitting here at 3-2, 2 good losses. Aesthetically, they're that's a good loss. Grant on our show always likes to joke, statement loss, right? I've had an enjoyable time, and I'm on the optimistic side of things, but I've had an enjoyable time through 5 games this year watching the Iowa Hawkeyes play football. I like what Tim Lester has brought to the game.
I agree. And that's because it looks better.
Right.
I made the comment after Indiana. Even during this stretch, first of all, there needs to be some, and I've cleared this up on my show, but there needs to be some clarification and perspective on the 11 straight losses to top 25 teams. Do you realize
Yeah.
that but prior to Saturday,
Preach.
only 2 of those games were in Kinnick?
Yeah.
A couple of them, let's see,
Neutral
one of
site
them-
and away games.
Michigan twice in the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State twice.
Where, by the way, those Big Ten championships were heavily. I mean, that was crowd-wise, that was a Michigan.
Oh,
home.
Cory, no, it was a road game. Those were road games.
Yeah.
At Ohio State, obviously they have neutral site losses in bowl games. Tennessee. I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving some people that thought that Iowa had no chance last week. I'm like, they have not really had opportunities at top 25 teams in and Kinnick.
More context to that, you look at just the last. People are like, we just want them to be competitive in these games, right? Like, if you're playing a ranked team, which we have not been in all these games, we are the underdog. You are technically supposed to lose that game on the books, right? Look at the last 3 that have happened during the Lester era. That's the other context. 3-point loss to Missouri, 3-point loss at Iowa State, 5-point loss, a 7-point loss, but 5-point loss to Indiana, who is a top 11 team when they come into Kinnick. That's your context. They're being very competitive. Could have, maybe should have won all 3 of those games. The other ones are a part of those, what we call the dark years, where, like, again, different offensive coordinator, offensive line that was much too young, a bunch of other things
Just
happening.
a lot of ugly football.
Right. So, like, you can even separate in those 11, the last 3 can't be looked at as the other previous 8. It's like, I understand people are going to continue with that stat until they win a game, but there is some serious relevant context in there.
Yeah, so the people that complain about not being competitive against top 25 teams, to your point, they
have been
when they're in Kinnick. And even sometimes when they're away. Now, there have been exceptions when they're at Penn State and at Ohio State where they've not been very competitive.
I mean, Ohio State's a national championship.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, when they're at Kinnick, they are competitive against the best of the best teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they were competitive Saturday against Indiana. And so this is why you should at least have some reason to believe that maybe they can be competitive against Oregon and Penn State because those games are at home. They're both at home.
Now watch, we're building them up, you and I, and we're going to be the reason.
They're going to get smoked
by 30. Or
40.
The Ducks and the Nittany Lions are going to come in and hang 50 apiece on us, and you and I are going to look back. Someone's going to clip this, and we're going to go, oh, no. But no, I don't think that will happen because I'm on this side of I really believe that's all the proof you needed. By the way, as the sun has gone down here at Big Grove Brewery in Des Moines, shout out to them for hosting us. The lighting has become incredible.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
What that? Lighting is really nice.
I really believe that we can make it. We can make it a game. We can make it a game.
How about this? WNBA Game 1 is on
action
in the finals.
Phoenix, Las Vegas. We got football over there.
Yeah, we got Charlotte and South Florida. South Florida's putting a beat down on the Niners.
This patio is unmatched.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And the patio in Iowa City is unmatched. If anybody's been to the patio in Iowa, it's unmatched. It's phenomenal. And folks, the new location in Omaha is open.
Yeah,
it is open, and they're about a week in.
Definitely excited to go there.
Check it out.
We go through Omaha all the time.
Absolutely, check it out. Great stuff, and I'm sure there'll be some Iowa fans that check it out. There's the Easy Eddie in the Big Grove Brewery glass.
I'm nursing it.
You're what?
Nursing it.
Oh, nursing it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad it's not nursing you.
That would be weird.
Okay. I was going to bring it up, though, because Iowa plays at Nebraska this year in football. So there'll be some fans that go check out Big Grove over there in Omaha on their way over to Lincoln.
What better spot for an Iowan going over to? That is the dark side over there.
A lot of Hawkeye fans, though, in Omaha. Council, Council Bluffs.
Talk about our listenership that we have at the Washington Walk-Ons. Again, you can see those demographics. Omaha rivals Iowa City and Des Moines. Sometimes there's even more Omaha listeners than there are from Iowa. It's crazy. Nebraska is like our second biggest state.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that.
Husker fans love the Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. Maybe not the fans, but people over there in the area. Okay, so in response to the comments on the schedule, there's reason for hope because those games are at home. And then the other aspect of this is if they go 9-3, if it's 9-3 without any blowouts, they could be in that conversation because they're in the Big Ten.
I mean,
and the Big Ten's probably going to get 4 in.
Yeah.
And that means 9-3 would be 7-2. And here's my question to you. I'd have to pull up the standings from last year. If they go 7-2 in conference, that makes them 9-3 overall, 7-2 in conference. Will that get them into the Big Ten title game?
It got a couple teams. Oh, in the Big Ten
title game. Because then there's another opportunity
at
another marquee win.
Yeah, resume builder there.
I don't know. I don't know what the records. Somebody in the chat tell us what the. I could look this up.
In theory, that would require a win over at least Penn State or Oregon to go 9-3, 7-2.
No, I agree. And USC. They'd have to beat USC in there.
So relevant to that is then one of those teams has a loss when you're now considering, does that get you in? If you think Ohio State wins 12 games, they may. What is it going to take for the second team? I would say probably not. Oregon's undefeated. Indiana's undefeated. Penn State has one loss.
That's what I'm looking at. So last year, the top two teams, the top three teams in the conference, 9-0, 8-1, 8-1, and then Ohio State was 7-2. So if you, unless there's more of a cannibalization,
it would take a weird tiebreaker, likely.
Yeah. Oh no, it's absolutely going to take a tiebreaker, but they may not even be in that tiebreaker scenario. So I'm grasping at straws to some extent, but I just hope people enjoy. If you're making the trip up to Madison, enjoy it, because those are the best college football trips. I mean, I can't relate to what it feels like as a player to go on the road and play in those environments, but I'm guessing it's pretty special.
It's not too damn bad. No.
Yeah. You miss that?
Yeah. I mean, you miss the environment for sure. There are days like now where, as a parent of two, and you got a job like this, and I'm trying to, feed the family. It's like, I don't need the stress of having that ball in my hands and making sure that the laces are in the right spot anymore. So there's a lot of times during the game where I go, God, I'm glad it's not me.
Yeah.
But of course, like forever and always until I die, I'm going to sit there and watch the swarm happen. It happened last week when I was in the stadium and just go, man, one more time would be nice, So, yeah.
I get it totally. I mean, I can't relate, but I get it. And Troy, thank you. Troy Becker with the chat here. And I'm throwing this up here because I think Troy was here and then left. So we've had some people show up in support. We appreciate everybody. But Troy, thank you for being here. Special shout out to you. I don't think we talked, but thank you for being here. And we're going to do more of these in the future. So my plan is to get over to Iowa City. Phenomenal facility over there at the Big Grove in Iowa City, and would love to get over there to the Omaha location.
Maybe we can make this Big Grove collab a bi-week tradition moving forward.
We can, absolutely. And what better timing as far as weather? Like, we're talking
you and I were worried, like, hope we don't need a coat.
This is amazing.
It's like 80
this
degrees
really is
here
amazing.
as the sun goes down. We love it.
I was afraid it was going to be a little too hot earlier in the day. So, no, this is perfect. Folks, final call. If there's anybody that has a question here in person, I don't think we've lost a couple of people to get moving. I appreciate them being here, but
someone's going to come up and ask, "Hey, when are you guys done?"
Yeah, why are you disrupting our meal on a Friday night?
I'm so hungry. I've been people walking out with food. The waiters.
Oh man, it smells amazing.
Oh my god,
it smells amazing.
I might have to stick around and just get some.
So we've had some people, just for perspective, we've had people show up here today for the show from Gladbrook, Iowa. From Nevada, Iowa, from Ottumwa, Iowa. We had someone from Pleasant Hill, and then we had several others that we had talked to. So we appreciate all the support. You call your supporters Walk-On Army.
It's the Walk-On Army.
I don't really have a name.
We need a name.
Our people.
From the Hawkeye.
They're just...
we can work on that.
FT Hots. That's what I...
Nope, that doesn't work. Don't like that.
You have a Discord.
We do. Yeah.
So
part of our Patreon. It's an exclusive.
I've been plugging our Discord. We just launched our Discord a few weeks ago.
It's a great thing.
How can people join your Discord?
Yeah. So over at the Washed Up Walk-Ons, we do. We have our scheduling every single week, and then for the fans, the true Walk-On Army, the big time supporters of us, we have a Patreon. Patreon's just a paywall website where you can get more extra podcasts, discounts to our merchandise. Ad-free listening, access to the Discord, and a whole lot more. Patreon.com/washedupwalk-ons. And you can find that link through all of our social media feeds. One of the benefits there is, like, if you are big, you are part of our community, you can get access to our Discord, which is, for anyone who's unaware or not in the Discord here with Cory, it's just another one of those forums, right? And during games or during the week, it's always going in there. Several big-time contributors, some names that show up very often. It's a way for us to increase the community buy-in and the engagement in the fandom of the Walk-On show, and it's been great for us. It's awesome.
How do you get into your Discord? Did you answer that already?
You just sign up for the Patreon, and it
Patreon. Okay.
Once you sign up, it'll automatically link your account to your Patreon account, and you're in.
Very cool, folks. Do that. Get over to Washed Up Walk-Ons, the Patreon, and of course subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Washed Up Walk-Ons on YouTube. If you're here watching through from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Be sure you subscribe there as well.
I think it's down here.
Yeah, it's somewhere over there, I think. You can donate to the shows as well. There's ways to do that.
Like this right now too. That'd be huge.
Like it on all platforms. If you're watching Twitter or on our YouTube channels,
and send us money.
Tyler's got to pay for this beautiful device that's helping us to broadcast
pay
this.
my mortgage and comment nice things on my social media and make me feel better.
Yeah,
no, it's okay. The support of you guys even showing up and being part of the 821 number currently is unbelievable. So thank you. And that number is actually bigger because there's more people watching on. I think that's only the YouTube. So I think there's more people.
No, I think that's.
Is it combined?
I think it's combined.
I don't know.
I think you have a following on Twitter.
Large.
You have a following.
I'm a superstar.
That's why they call it the armies. That's why they call it the army.
Yeah,
so,
we bring heavy artillery.
Ours is like the daycare compared to your army. So
the daycare.
All right, folks. Well, we appreciate everybody being here. One more plug to our great sponsors here at Big Grove Brewery.
Absolutely.
Thank you for helping us put this together and making the space available. I would showcase my beer, but it's basically gone. It's gone. So
mine's not.
Forget it. Also, if people have not checked out the trailer for Farms of America, if you got here late, we played it at the very beginning of this show. New partnership with us here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, Farms of America. Awesome show. And episode 1 of that docuseries, which is a legit docuseries.
It looked
amazing.
awesome.
Matt Kroll and his family, that family farm, it is absolutely stinking awesome. So check it out. Reagan and Massey on YouTube. And we'll put more information in the description as soon as this video posts. We'll add that to our description, and you'll see Matt Kroll on some shows here as we continue throughout the football season ahead. So Tyler, anything else before we sign off?
It was an absolute pleasure. Again, thank you to everybody. We're going to do more of this. Let me and Cory know what we can do better. Hopefully the sound was okay. Again, I wish we could show you the setup. I'd pick up the laptop, but the whole thing might crash. This is the first time of 3 or 4 live shows that we've done on our side where everything worked out. There was no feedback. People could hear us. Y'all could hear us. We did get Kashin in there. It was unbelievable. So we plan on doing more of this. We're going to do more collaborations as we move forward, and unbelievable time.
I'm wondering if maybe I should start. We've never, and I shouldn't maybe say this in this platform, but should I start broadcasting to Twitter?
Yes. Yeah, just as an inside baseball thing, you're missing out on some.
It's always been you. It's always been, man. We just you talked about it last time you were on our show. You're like, man, you got to own YouTube.
What's the downside though?
It's a good question.
That's what
those are conversations that should be had. So
we can have those off.
We'll have those conversations.
I can tell you about the numbers. So maybe we've done this year. Yeah.
Maybe from the Hawkeye of the Storm will be available on Twitter soon.
Twitter or YouTube. They can join you wherever.
Absolutely. All right. We'll have those conversations. We'll keep making the brand better on both sides.
Absolutely.
For Tyler Kluver, I'm Cory Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm, and this is, of course, Big Grove Brewery in Des Moines. Thank you all for being here during the Iowa football bye week. Stay tuned. More coverage on both platforms as we continue through a busy fall.
See you, boys.